We've got Mike Bisping here today for Addicted MMA, talking about the upcoming TUF, and I've got a few questions for you.
Excellent.
Okay. Were you surprised to get the coaching position after everything that went down with Jorge Rivera originally?
Well, you know, I mean, listen, there was a bit of a backlash from fans and the UFC immediately afterwards. We were a little annoyed at what happened at UFC 127. You know, I need him in the head. It wasn't an intentional knee. No, don't get me wrong, it was an intentional knee in the sense that I threw the knee and kneed him in the face. It wasn't an intentional illegal knee. You know, if I'm flying all my team out to Australia, I'm giving up almost 3 months training for this fight. I want to excel in my career and continue to win. If I'd have lost the fight, I got disqualified, I lose half my win bonus. You know, when you consider all those things, I'm not going to intentionally throw out a blow that's going to get me disqualified and cost me a lot of money and get a loss on my record. I pulled the trigger too early. Afterwards, you know, there was a bit of a fallout with Rivera in his corner. They provoked me massively on the internet. They were doing very underhand things at the hotel, calling my room in the middle of the night, things like that. And a lot of, you know, I spat on the floor. They tried to twist it and say I spat at them. I didn't spat at them. I spat on the floor to show the contempt that I felt for them and the disgraceful way they conducted themselves. I wish I hadn't have done that though, and I apologised. I didn't get an apology from them for the underhand tactics that they used in promoting the fight. Were I surprised? No, I wasn't. You know, I mean, you know, I said after season 9 that I'd never coach the Ultimate Fighter again, but you know, you know, the UFC, sorry, to coach the Ultimate Fighter is a very prestigious thing, and you know, it's a great opportunity, and you know, the UFC presented me with the opportunity, and I jumped at the chance, and you know, I'm very grateful for that.
Excellent, thank you. Addicted MMA, we have you ranked as the number 5 best middleweight in the world. Whereabouts would you rank Jason Miller?
Jason Miller, where would I have him ranked? I think that's a tough one. I'm not sure. If I'm honest, I've never really sat down and thought about it. I wouldn't even have said he's even in the top 10, to be honest. But that said, there's a very fine line between a guy in the top 5 and the guy in the top 5 and the guy who's maybe number 20. The skill sets are still going to be very, very similar, you know. So
it's an incredibly tight division, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is. I'm not sure. You know, I don't know where he is. All I know is that he's a tough fighter. He brings a lot of challenges to the table. He's got a great ground game. He's got unorthodox striking. He's in great shape, and he's hard to finish. So all those things, you know, I'm preparing for a very, very hard fight. I want to fight for the title soon. Does a win over Miller get me that? I'm not sure, because he's not a marquee name, but it will continue my win streak, and I think based upon that win streak and how long I've been around the UFC for, I think I have a pretty good case for a title shot.
How disappointed were you when Sonnen didn't get the position opposite you?
Yeah, I was. You know, I was pretty disappointed. You know, for me, well, season 14 has been an amazing season. It really has. There's a great fights and a lot of entertainment. But I was initially disappointed because I thought with Chael Sonnen, you know, we're in for, you know, I mean, the guy is very charismatic, he's very funny, he talks a lot, and, you know, I thought we'd be in for a great season. So I was disappointed. That said, Miller did a great job of replacing him. Miller really did.
Excellent. Can you tell us a little about your coaching team that are joining you on this season?
The staff, the coaching staff. Yeah, the Wolfstar coaches weren't available. They were coaching other fighters. Mario, the head instructor, he had some family personal problems in Brazil, so he wasn't available. So I brought in a friend of mine, Tiki Gorson, who runs the Huntington Beach Ultimate Training Centre. He's been on there before with Rampage as one of his assistant coaches. So I brought Tiki Gorson on. I brought in a guy called Brady Fink from California. He's a fantastic jiu-jitsu coach, been around a long time. And I brought in Razor Rob McCullough as a Thai boxing instructor. You know, he's a great, good pedigree fighter. I also brought in 2 English guys, Zoran Dubai and Sean Keith, from a gym called Strength and Performance in Stockport. They're my strength and conditioning coaches, but they also work a lot with structuring my training, make sure I'm not overtraining, a lot of prehab exercises to prevent injuries, and just generally monitor the whole situation.
The UFC set you up with a nice, sexy car this season.
Well, of course, it's tradition. The UFC always give you a nice car, and I saw Dana last week, and I was doing a piece for Esquire magazine. He was there, and I recently relocated to Orange County, California, and so I need to buy a car there. So I said, Dana, listen, I'm about to buy a car, but what kind of car are you going to get me? Because I don't want to buy like 2 cars that are the same or style of car. And he turned around and said, well, what do you want? So he's left it to me. So I'm going to say thanks, Dana White, for that. Thank you very much. He said, what do you want? So I think I'm going to get a Range Rover. Thanks, Dana White and the Fertitta brothers in the UFC.
Very nice indeed. Jason Miller is well known for his pranks. Were you able to prank him at all?
Absolutely. He tried a couple of very feeble attempts to play a couple of pranks. They were pitiful. But he played a prank, so we had to have revenge, and we took it to the extreme, and we completely blew him out of the water. And wait till you see it. Some of the things that we did are genius.
Nice. Okay.
One in particular, towards the end of the season, maybe we took it too far, but trust me, when you see it, you will die laughing.
One to set the Sky Plus for then?
Yes, absolutely.
Nice. Marquardt, Silva, Son and Mayer and Mayhem, and just about every other middleweight has called you out. How does it feel to be the middleweight's most wanted man?
Feels great, I'm never going to be short of matchups. See, the thing is, all these guys, they call me out because they think they're going to get an easy fight, but then when they get in the cage, they realise that I'm not an easy fight. So, Marquardt, I can't fight him. He just failed his steroid test. The guy's a steroid cheat. After all this shit that he talked about me for bringing the sport into disrepute, the guy is sticking needles in his arse, okay? Sorry, Marquardt, you're a cheat. Fuck off. All the rest of them, Maya, great competitor, a lot of great competitors. I had to get that off my chest about Marquardt because he talked a lot. We were supposed to fight 2-3 occasions, and he ducked me every time. Always made excuses, yeah. So anyway, swiftly moving on. How does it feel? Feels good. Feels good to be hated.
Excellent. Have you ever considered returning to the light heavyweight division?
Absolutely, especially when I keep tucking into salads on a daily basis to get my weight down. It doesn't feel too good. I'm 32 now. Making middleweight, isn't as easy what it used to be, but I purposely go in heavier these days. If you go back to the Dan Henderson fight and watch that fight, and look at my body shape compared to how I fight at 185 now, you'll see that I cut a lot of weight. I'm doing an interview, sorry.
You're doing an interview?
You're very loud. What was I saying? Well, I was rudely interrupted by the Blue Rinse Brigade. God bless him.
Light heavyweight.
Yeah, and I'd love to go back to light heavyweight. That was the lady, actually. Remember I told you this morning? I stood to one side to let her go past, and she goes, "Are you going to get out of my way?" And I was like, "Oh,
That's
yeah."
what happens in these swanky classes.
I know. What the hell? What was the question?
About going back to light heavyweight.
Light heavyweight, yeah. I'd love to go back to light heavyweight. I had a successful career there. I only lost once to Rashad Evans by split decision. And of course, I'm definitely open to the idea.
Myself and many others don't really class that as a loss.
Yeah, me neither. It was a very close fight, so,
Okay, we've got some questions for you from the addicts from around the world.
Excellent.
CJ Clinton, who's a huge Michael Bisping fan.
What's up, CJ?
He's from Washington. He asks, besides yourself, who do you see as the next UK champion in an American-based MMA promo?
Let me see. There's a lot of good UK talent. It's hard to pinpoint one. We've definitely got some great talent in this country, and I'm very proud of how mixed martial arts in the UK has improved and excelled over the last few years. I don't know. You know, Dan Hardy was doing well. Unfortunately, he's had a bit of a tough run lately. Ross Pearson, he just had some bad luck lately. Although he's still a fantastic prospect, it was a tough decision. Still a good prospect.
Brad Pickett's looking good.
Brad Pickett, there you go. Fantastic, good mention. Brad Pickett, you know, he's definitely, you know, that guy could be fighting for a title pretty soon if he continues his winning streak. So, yeah, you know, I think Brad Pickett's as good enough for choice as anyone.
Excellent. Clinton also asked, he's such a big fan, he had to ask 2 questions.
No worries, Clinton, I like the passion.
So far, what has been your personal highlight of your MMA career?
Personal highlight of my MMA career, well, every time seems to beat the next. You know, I mean, it started off obviously season 3 of the Ultimate Fighter, winning that. I didn't think it could get any better. And then my first fight was at the MGM. You know, I didn't think that could get any better. But then, you know, winning at the MGM for me, an iconic arena. But then I fought at UFC 70 at the Manchester Evening News Arena, which is near where I live. That was amazing. Then my next fight was sold out at the O2 Arena in London, which was just incredible. Then I was fighting main event, which I never thought I'd be main event. So it just every time keeps beating the next one. And I'm just very fortunate that, you know, I'm part of this amazing business and I get to compete.
My personal favourite was when you fought in Montreal.
Oh, Montreal, yeah, that was another good one.
I travelled over there and the way you turned that crowd was unbelievable.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that was a good night as well. Yeah, I remember. Yeah.